It's not every day that you get a chance to meet the inventor of an instrument, let alone an interesting, sleek, and downright cool-looking instrument such as the Harpejji. Musician and Harpejji player Jon Maurer took me to meet Tim Meeks at Marcodi HQ, just outside Baltimore. Marcodi have been producing the instrument for about 10 years now, and it's been picked up by some legendary players.
Jon, thank you for having me here.
Thank you, James.
I'm pretty excited to be able to chat about this. It's a pretty stunning looking instrument, and I have to admit, when I first saw it, I really didn't know what to make of it. So you better walk us through the instrument here.
Yeah. Primarily, the note layout. The Harpejji is tuned in whole tones, which enables a recognizable pattern of black and white notes that is similar to a piano. So if you notice, you'll see clusters of black notes that are groups of 2 and 3, and those are the same groupings that you see on piano.
Right.
So on a piano, if you see 2 black notes together, those are C sharp and D sharp. And on the Harpejji, it's the same thing. And then the group of 3, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. And so what's nice about it, since it's such a big fretboard compared to a guitar, is that no matter, you can throw a dart at it, and no matter where you are, you can instantly know, where you are. It would be pretty difficult to play a fretboard this wide, without having some sort of a navigation system.
Right. Yeah. And so it goes tones across, and then
whole tones this way. And then semitones that way, like a guitar. Yeah, we use as a tagline piano instinct, guitar soul, and it combines a lot of the features of the two, of piano and guitar. Piano in that you're using all 10 of your fingers to play, to make individual notes, or at least you have the ability to do that. You have the white and the black notes in that whole visual system. You have the low notes to the left, and you have the high notes to the right, which is the same as the piano paradigm. And then from the guitar, we're borrowing a lot of the the mechanics, the sort of acoustical and mechanical elements of an electric guitar. In fact, these are electric guitar saddles and pickups. These are piezo pickups in the saddles.
Right. And are they guitar strings as well?
It's guitar strings, electric guitar and electric bass strings. This is the middle model, the 16-string model. We also have a bigger one and a smaller one, 24 and 12. But this is guitar frets, and a lot of the hardware is for guitar.
Right.
We have something pretty special about this that sets us apart from other tapping instruments, and that is electronic muting. When you walk up to a Harpejji, and I'm strumming it right now, you don't hear anything at all. And the reason is because we are electronically muting all of the strings independently until you touch the string to the fret. When you touch the metal string to the metal fret, it's literally like a light switch, and it activates the pickup on that string only.
Right.
So the cool thing about that is you can make a chord with, say, your right hand, and then you can strum all the strings with your other hand, and you don't hear any open string mess. You're only hearing what you're intending to play, which is what's under your hand.
Interesting.
And so that's a pretty powerful thing. And even so, one of the cool things about it, I'm glad, even though we are doing that muting, we still are able to pick up.
To get the percussive.
Yeah, because it instantly turns on the pickup, and it instantly turns it off.
Wow. Okay.
And so you don't miss out on that kind of fun stuff. But and a lot of people do that. Like Mathieu will he'll do a thing where he hits a bass note and then he'll slap it, like bass note slap kind of a thing.
Yeah. Right.
And what Jon was just doing there was where you can hold a note with your thumb and then like strum your finger. So a lot of the techniques are similar to guitar, although maybe played from a different angle.
Right. And the most striking thing that I just saw was the sort of bending. Like if you've got that sort of
yeah. You can do it as a vibrato, like a. You can you can slide like you do on a guitar.
Right. Uh-huh.
You can do harmonics as well. For example, you can do muted notes as well. Like if a lot of times guitarists will use their hand to mute the strings, but what we do in the Harpejji is we'll do like what I call like. So here's a normal tone, but then you can, if you get a little bit of your finger beyond the fret, then you can use your finger itself to mute the.
Fantastic. And so, could you tell us about the evolution of the instruments? Because I think the muting, Jon was mentioning, that sort of came a little later in the process.
Right. So everything about the evolution of the Harpejji has to do with, And by the way, that right there.
That was the one that I had in my house.
Okay.
I was telling him about. It doesn't have the.
Yeah, that was the very first Harpejji prototype. And, And the very first electronics.
All right.
That was the first electronic prototype.
Kind of next to it.
Wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But,
This is less like a piano at that point.
Right.
The transition for a piano player wouldn't be quite as...
Yeah, if you notice, so it's funny, like, the only way that you can have a white and black navigation system is either whole tone or chromatic. With any other thing, double whole tone, a minor third, a fourth, with any other system, you put the white and the black notes on it and it looks completely random.
Right, yeah.
But it comes together with clusters of 3 and 2 if you do whole tone or chromatic.
Right.
And so ultimately that became an important deciding factor for me. I didn't want to do chromatic because it takes a lot more strings, double the amount of strings to get a reasonable note range. So instead of 16 strings to match this, I'd have to have 32 strings just to get 4 octaves. And so, and also I wanted to be able to reach kind of fat, open chords that have a nice wide interval, and so that's the other reason I went with whole tone.
Jon, maybe you could talk about your experience learning the instrument and playing it and performing and writing with it.
Well, yeah, and for me, and we talked about this a little bit before, James, when you have, when I started learning piano when I was 3 years old, and the first thing you do, you learn in the key of C, right? Tell me you're a piano player as well.
Yeah.
Learn on the white keys. That's how you can really start to get somewhat proficient at it. So in approaching the Harpejji, I kind of approach it in the same fashion. And the nice thing about this is, like power chords on the guitar, if I learn something in C, then I can play it. And you play in pretty much any key you want to then. As opposed to the piano, where the fingering is different in every single key.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a really, really distinct, an important distinction. In that, you look at a guitar chord book. If somebody, hey, I want to learn guitar. Okay, well, here's a guitar chord book, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, depending on which chord book you have, of fingerings that you need to memorize. And hats off to guitar players for like putting in the time and the hours to to memorize all of those fingerings. And so a C chord, an F sharp chord, a B flat chord on the guitar, they're all completely different fingerings. On the Harpejji, every chord is the same. Every major chord has the same exact fingering pattern: a C, an F sharp, a B flat, and so and that's also unlike the piano. When you learn to play a C sharp major scale, the muscle memory that you have for a C sharp scale is not going to work for a D scale, and so you have to get along with all 12 keys. And so when you're trying to introduce a new musical instrument to planet Earth, it is very important to make it have a pretty quick learning curve, so that more people will stick with it. And so I claim that you can learn in 1/12 the time, because there's 1/12 the memorization that's required.
Thanks for watching. Click on the links for more interviews, follow us on Facebook, or subscribe.